This chapter is all about animation and any functions that come with these animations. In order to follow the video, you have to work with Blender, the i3D exporter, and maybe starting the game over time in order to test your animations in-game. There are different animations within our game. We differ these in the following 3 bullet points. Rotating parts, XML animation, and moving parts. Rotating parts can be easily defined. Use your i3D mapping node, add a rotation speed to it, define the rotation axis, add a fader for the time it starts and also when it stops. Done. XML animations are a bit more tricky. Let's have a look at the pipe for example. We call the animation fold pipe and move a part within the animation. It takes 6 seconds to rotate the pipe around the y-axis by 105 degrees. While doing this, we added sounds that start at specific times and have a duration until their end time. The source of the sound is also bound to their origin, the link node. Since we already animated our pipe, it's easy to explain moving tools and parts with it. Within the moving tool, we have the same node name as before, but this time it has a dependent part. This means that each time we move our moving tool, we automatically update our dependent part. The dependent part is our moving part that is defined in the next section. Within this moving part, we have defined a reference point. This means that the part will be aligned to the reference point. Inside of it, there is also a translating part for our punch. This one is moved out or in on the Z translation axis. Another example can be a player-controlled animation. This is also defined as a moving tool, but this time it's not triggered by an animation, it's triggered by the player's input. This is defined within the controls tag inside of the moving tool. This moving tool can have dependent parts for the hydraulics as well. Let's have a look into it in detail. Opening the i3D file and selecting the pipe pivot, we will see that there are 5 objects inside it. Trailer trigger is a volume mesh which is used for our combine to recognize if there is a vehicle or object nearby that has an unloading point into which we can unload. Belt pipe is a mesh that has a shader on it in order to have a scroll animation. This can be triggered with our XML file. We add the animation node tag inside our pipe tag and it will only activate once the pipe unloading is activated. The same is happening for the discs, in fact these are only rotating. The pivot pipe rod itself includes all of our necessary pipe meshes and pivots. The mesh pipe is the node which will be rotated in our animation if we have a look at our XML a bit closer. Once we rotate our pipe, we had a dependent part called pipe hydraulic located here. Pipe hydraulic has a reference point called pipe hydraulic ref and aligns to the reference point. A similar approach is done for all other animations that have dependent parts. You need a reference point and define which part is updated with that reference point. Adding sounds is a tedious work, which gives your machine the extra fine addition if an animation is played. For example, we can add a hydraulic sound to our folding pipe coming from the hydraulic punch. We can use template sounds from the base game which can be found in the data. Sounds, Sound Templates file. Having a look inside the file we see the name for each of the sounds, which we can use in our vehicle XML file. Going back to the animation tag, we use the hydraulic sound for the whole movement, from beginning to end. The cylinder punch sound is only played for the folding animation as the direction is switched to -1. Same for the closing sound. If you change the timing of your animation, you should also have another look at the timing of your sounds in order to fit them how the animation is looking. Please be aware that the link node is the reference where the sound is played from.